Hello to everyone again. So we are going to start the second panel of this very exciting day. So the second panel is entitled Starting a European University in the Post-COVID Era, Challenges and Plans for the Future. And we have representatives of UNICA members who are part of the alliances selected under Call 2. And namely, it is a pleasure to have this morning Atli Benediktsson, President of the University of Iceland and member of Aurora Alliance. Unfortunately, Rector Svein Stollen of the University of Oslo at the last moment has an unforeseen engagement and could not participate in the panel today. Then we have Milan Remis, head of the Erasmus office of Comenius University, Bratislava, member of ENLIGHT. Béla Merkely, rector of Semmelweis University, member of UNIVERSEH. Tiit, rector of Tallinn University of Technology, member of EuroTeQ. Maria Stoicheva, vice rector for international relations of Sofia University, St. Clement Oryski, member of T4EU, Transform for Europe. And then we have Damir Boras, rector of the University of Zagreb, member of UNIC. Eric Tschirhart, professor and special advisor to the rector of the University of Luxembourg, member of UNIVERSEH. And this is the the panel that will discuss today about the European universities in this COVID era. This project has been funded just recently, so they're going to start this year for the first year in the COVID era. And of course, we know that this is quite challenging. So in this case, in this panel, I would start actually asking them, and I kindly ask all of them to limit their intervention to 2 minutes only, starting with the impact of the COVID pandemics, also mentioning the topic that was addressed in the last panel at the end, related to virtual and blended mobility in this period, and how are you facing the new alliances that you created after the changes induced by the pandemics. And it's a pleasure to start in alphabetical order by alliance with Aurora, and I would like to give the floor to Atli to start the panel. I hope is not online yet. I think the office in the meantime will probably connect with him. So I would like to give the floor in the meantime to Milan, represented ENLIGHT.
Yeah, hello, good morning.
Okay.
Yeah, so you hear me.
Yes.
So ENLIGHT is a network of 9 universities. Besides Comenius University, we have Ghent, Bordeaux, Göttingen, Groningen, Tartu, Uppsala, Bilbao, and Galway in Ireland. And we are just at the beginning of the project, and therefore COVID crisis so far had only limited impact on us. And it impacts mainly management of the project, as all the meetings have to be online. And we plan a kickoff meeting for the first week of March. We hoped we will be able to do it with a physical presence, but now as the situation is still very uncertain and we need to prepare it, we decided we will do also the kickoff meeting online. So it's not probably the best solution, but we have to do it. And concerning the blended and digital mobility, our project just started in the 1st of November, so it's probably too early to say, but Digital Campus was part of the project from the very beginning, and this Digital Campus should integrate also the administrative part. the exchange of data between universities, but mainly the education, so the possibilities for virtual and blended mobility. And so now we have to speed up the task working on digital campus.
Okay, so thank you for this first intervention. I know that also the rector of Semmelweis University has a technical problem now, so he will join in a minute. So let me give the floor to Tiit, representing EuroTeQ. So Tiit Land online, maybe you're muted. Or...
Yes, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes, I was on. I was muted. Yes, well, hello. I'm Tiit Land, Rector of TalTech, Tallinn University of Technology. I just started as Rector of TalTech 1st of September, so this is. I don't have 100 days yet in office, but I was almost 10 years Rector of Tallinn University, neighboring university in Tallinn here. This EuroTeQ consortium is called EuroTeQ Engineering University. There are 6 partners from Germany, Denmark, Netherlands, France, Czech Republic, and Estonia. And like colleague before, we mentioned that we are just in the first phase. We're basically teaming up. And COVID has been influencing us in terms of being able to meet physically. So we haven't been able to meet physically between our partners, but nevertheless we have been quite successful in teaming up digitally. And just to mention that we have this project, we have agreed upon a number of work packages. And just last week, I mean, officially the project started on 1st of November. So we have now 1 month has already passed. And last week, last Tuesday, we had first kind of well, semi-official or more like informal kickoff meeting between all partners, and that was held, of course, digitally. That went very well during 2 hours. There were discussions in work packages or working groups. I think there are 5 or 6, 6 working groups. That has been was very successful. And in terms of planning ahead, I think we have done fairly well. Of course, we have to what we would like to that we could meet physically. That will definitely take time. So we hope that in coming spring we will be able to meet physically. But yeah, to summarize, the project has started well timely, and we hope that this pandemic will not cause any delays. But this is always a question because the project is 3 years project. This pilot project last 3 years, and time goes very fast. Thank you.
So, Jerry, you're muted.
Sorry, this time I was muted. So I see online the Rector of Semmelweis, Béla Merkely. And just to mention maybe again the question, because you just joined, I was asking which is the impact of COVID on your alliance. In this case, you are here to represent UNIVERSEH. And how are you facing this challenge in this moment? Since UNIVERSEH is starting this year and in the middle of this COVID crisis. And I ask you kindly to limit your intervention to 2 minutes.
Okay, thank you very much. It's a pleasure being here. So all partners at the University Köln, University of Birmingham, University degli Studi di Firenze, University Leiden, from Sweden, Linné Universität and University de Nantes. Semmelweis University is a health science university, very specialized. So of course we play an important role in the fight against pandemic. We did have opportunity to discuss what is the role of universities in this fight against the pandemic. We, for example, in university, we led a nationwide test and screening program, representative screening program for determination of the average seropositivity and the activity of the virus in different points of the pandemic. And we help our government just to check and give them a real cross-sectional view every day about the situation of pandemic. So our aspect is the aspect of University of Health Science, very shortly.
Perfect. Okay, thank you very much. Now let's continue with the experience of UNIC, and we have online the Rector of Zagreb University, Damir Boras, please.
Hello to everybody. I represent the UNIC universities in industrial cities or post-industrial cities with a clear mission to boost mobility and inclusion for societal impact. And these are universities, 8 of us. This is, of course, Erasmus University Rotterdam, Ruhr University Bochum, University College Cork, University of Oulu, University of Liège, Deusto University in Bilbao, Koç University in Istanbul, and the University of Zagreb. So, as far as pandemic, we are at the beginning of the project, and in fact, we have put online mobility forward in order to be as effective, as cost efficient, and as climate friendly as possible. This is, of course, fortunate circumstances. This is why we do not make and do not plan a substantial change of our project. The only change happened with regard to the important meetings, such as kickoff meetings and rectors meetings. We have a managerial board of rectors of this project, which needed to be held online instead of traveling and having them to face. We hope that a part of mobility will be possible as real mobility after COVID-19 infection is put under control. So up to now, we have no problems, but I will speak later about organization. Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. And now let's hear the experience of UNIVERSEH. Eric, please.
I'm unmuted. Good morning to everybody. Yes, in a nutshell, we are 5 partners. There is Toulouse from France, Krakow in Poland, Luleå in Sweden, Heinrich Heine, Düsseldorf, and Luxembourg, which is the smallest university of the partnership. To be short, COVID has a major impact. We are quite distant from everybody, and one of the key issue of this key objective of this project was to put people together, because we have only one thematic, which is space, going from liberal arts to technology, medicine, and so on. So it's a sort of specific silo for development, and COVID has a major impact. Well, this is being said, we started on the 1st of November. We're already ticking the boxes on the deliverables. We have a small issue in governance. This is true. Just to mix all the balls together is a bit sad. But still, the main point for us is that we have an enormous support from industrial partners. We have Airbus, we have SES, we have Thales, we have Finmeccanica in Italy, and so on. So these guys, they were really waiting for interaction with academics to develop new courses for recruiting people for the space industry in Europe. So COVID in this context has a major impact in terms of relationship, and we expect to have some some aspects of the deliverable which will be affected. But still, we moved almost immediately to complete digital processes, including the partners, and they are used to work this way also. So I guess that we are not in a very determinant situation for now, except for student mobility.
Thank you very much. Also in the last panel this morning, I think everyone was quite optimistic and quite positive, despite the difficulties, that actually this changes, to move activities online was quite effective. But of course, there are some major challenges, including, for instance, the inclusion of students just at the beginning of their studies, first or second year. And we know that for them it was more difficult to start the university online. And also some of the activities which require the attendance of laboratories or some other practical activities, also in the humanities, for instance. Let's think of archaeology, or let's think of other fields like architecture, etc. So I think not everything can be done completely online. So how are you facing these challenges in your alliances? And again, let's start with Milan, representing ENLIGHT. I think you are muted if you are talking, Milan.
Yeah, that's
yes.
Yeah. For the moment, it's difficult because the majority of our universities is closed or almost closed. For example, our university is closed for students. Is also the laboratories are closed. So for the moment, we are focusing on tasks we can do online. But concerning, for example, student mobilities and development of cooperation in the research, in practical research, in laboratories, on groups, for the moment it's on hold. Well, we are waiting for the situation to improve.
Okay.
And concerning the project as such, we hope that next year the situation will be better. So for the moment, we do not plan to make any substantial changes in the project plan. We have our task and we are starting to work on the task we have. Yeah.
Thank you very much. And what is the situation in UNIVERSEH? Béla, please.
Yes, I know exactly what's happened in my university, because it's a very special university. It's a medical university. So we have a so-called hybrid form of teaching. So our university students are actually in the hospitals, in the building of the universities, and only the lecture is actually organized by online. So even the medical student and students for dentistry and pharmacy, they are participating very actively in the fight against the coronavirus. So we do the screening for all of the schools, for example, just to help our authorities to succeed the fight against the pandemic. So we are much more open on that field, and we do not work as a so-called online university.
Okay, thank you very much. And concerning EuroTech, I know that Tiit, we have, of course, several technological activities there. So how are you facing the challenge of COVID? I mean, is virtual mobility always possible, or what are your strategies in the alliance?
Yeah, well, thank you. Yeah, this is correct that our project is, or our consortium is based on we are technical universities, and we have it's virtually impossible to have a distance learning or e-learning on engineering, or we have also natural sciences. But well, fortunately, in Estonia, we have been able to keep university campuses open since spread of COVID has been well, I wouldn't say moderate, but still we have been able to, at the universities, we have been able to control it. For example, just Taltech, how we have managed this since September when we opened this academic year started, that we have when we have identified, or there has been identified COVID positive student, then we have not shut down the full university or not the full campus, but we have sent the specific study program to e-learning or distance learning for 14 days. And then after 14 days, they have returned to the campus. And currently, I think we have out of some 70 study programs, we have in average, we have between 2 and 5 study programs are on e-learning. And this means that at the campus, we have been able to carry out studies as planned, also on more importantly on engineering programs, and those where there are elaboration works. And we really hope that, well, of course, we have not been able to take foreign students. Well, we have foreign students, exchange students who arrived before 1st of September when academic year started. But now we will see what will happen if we can take students from new students in February when our next academic year starts. And we encourage our exchange students who are here in Tallinn not to, well, at least consider not to travel home to their home countries for Christmas holidays. So we will hopefully they will be able to spend Christmas holidays here in Tallinn or in Estonia, and to be in touch with their families through other means. But we really hope that we will be able to bring students and also send our students to our partner universities at least in coming spring.
Thank you very much. And now let's hear from UNIC. Damir, please.
Hello, Luciano. Okay, I need to say that this UNIC alliance consists of 8 different universities, and the University of Zagreb is the largest one, about 70,000 students. All other a little bit less, but we all have been let's say established so-called blended or hybrid model of communication, and particularly University of Zagreb, which is in fact federation of 34 faculties like holding. We switched even in March to the hybrid model, and we in fact have lectures, numbered lectures online or in distant mode, or because you need to differentiate between distant learning and online learning. And of course, we have lectures of the smaller size in vivo, like let's say in physical matter, because we stated just before this beginning of the year that physical contact within the students and so on is very important for their development, societal inclusion and so on. But we gave the deans of the faculties freedom to choose what to do in some circumstances. So in last 5-10 days, we almost all switched to the distant learning, to the online learning, and that it will last until I think end of middle of January, and then after we will return. So all our universities at this alliance are prepared to have online with different models of mobility and governance. So it will be okay, and we shall have no problem in that. But of course, we prefer physical contact because it is most important for students. Of course, our model of mobility will be sandwich model. We will start with, let's say, we have been started with our programs, and then students will move somewhere for a while and then return, or virtually eventually if it happened like that. So that's all.
Thank you very much. And now let's hear from UNIVERSEH. Eric, please.
Yes, well, basically we are in a hybrid mode already by definition within the project and by operation also now. The chance that we have is that we have some domains like humanities which are extremely suited for distance learning and distance interaction. But if you go to medical, physiology, experimental sciences like physics and biology, it's a bit more difficult. And then we go to a complete blended solution where we have the online courses and we have special arrangements for having the practical works done with the students. So it's purely hybrid or purely blended for now. If we have classes which should be contaminated, then we have to stop for 2 weeks, and the students are isolated or quarantined, as you may call it, and then we start again. So this around us allowed us to have a very limited cases of infection within the context. And the second point that we use is we have a lot of practicals in engineering also, and in robotics, for example. And then we have sandboxes which are real, and we have small robots which are wheeled, and we give access to the labs from Sweden or from Toulouse or from Luxembourg. And so this means that the students can interact with a robot at a 1,000 kilometer distance. So it's really distance learning and distance practical work. So you can see these little robots, which are half a meter wide, by the way, just jumping on sandboxes, and it's quite funny. But it keeps also some sort of a real space related practical activity within our student, which is pretty good.
Thank you very much. And actually, indeed, I think there are some solutions, even if it is very difficult, as you said, in some disciplines. But I mean, let's say Padua, the University of Padua has been famous for a long time for this theater, allowing students in medicine to look at autopsy from the same place. I think now we can actually build these kind of things virtually, and so allow, in some cases, some teaching that allows students to access some information that before was not maybe so easy. So I think this digital push, you cannot solve all the problems, but indeed there are some possible interesting solutions as the one you mentioned about robots. Thank you very much for that. And now I would like to ask some questions that I already asked in the previous panel, but I think here the angle is a little bit different because your alliances just started this year, and I think your view probably will be different on some of these aspects. And also you've been in touch maybe with some other colleagues already experiencing some of these topics in the previous alliances. So I'm curious to hear from you. First of all, about the approach of integrating education and research in the European University project. Because until these projects, we have to say that we were used to work either on research projects, typically on Horizon 2020 scheme, which now is going to be Horizon Europe, or Erasmus project related to education. European University projects are encouraging us to integrate education and research. So which is your approach in your alliances? Which are the difficulties or successful elements of your operation? And let's start again with Milan representing ENLIGHT.
The primary goal of the project is not research, but we use research as a tool to train our students and researchers. And important part of the project is work package challenge-based learning. And there we have two actions integrating education and research. We will create living labs, bringing together transdisciplinary teams of students and academics, but also companies and policymakers and citizens. And together they should work on some research challenges from their region. And the second thing, we will also create ENLIGHT doctoral network to support PhD students and PhD projects. And the network will launch a doctoral seminars, which will enable PhD students to connect with other contexts, other topics and peers, and to develop their innovation management and entrepreneurship skills. And so to make a difference in our society, we focused the whole project around 5 flagship topics. They were chosen to address the most important societal challenges. And these topics are health and well-being, then digital revolution, climate change, energy use and circular economy, and equity. So these are the 5 topics we will focus our education via research projects.
Perfect. Thank you very much. Let's continue with UNIWELL. Béla, please. Maybe you are muted.
You're muted.
Yeah. This is one of the challenges.
UNIVERSEH provides an opportunity for the participating universities to strengthen their outstanding research and education activity by joining forces and to generate new knowledge via diverse training opportunities, scientific collaboration, and new form of mobility. UNIVERSEH addresses well-being across 4 interdisciplinary research arenas aligned with the Sustainable Development Goals: well-being and health, individual and social well-being, environment and humanity and well-being, and teacher education. These research arenas will create cross-campus platforms bringing together academics, policymakers, and industry with students. The aim is to radically renew the research education transfer nexus and boost cutting-edge inter- and transdisciplinary research collaboration related to well-being. Research and education at Semmelweis University has always been very close to each other in line with our threefold mission: education, research, innovation, and healthcare. We can proudly say that based on our scientific results and taking advantage of our extensive international cooperation, our institution is today a regional center of excellence in the field of life sciences. Scientific results quickly make their way into education and in the curriculum. We believe that the international cooperation are crucial for all universities in order to make the most of the potential of their education and scientific activities.
Sure, thank you very much, very interesting. And now let's hear from EuroTeQ. Tiit, please.
Yes, thank you. So I first, I would like to just introduce what are the main core activities of EuroTeQ, and then I will come to which core activities are more involved in integrating education and research. So first is we have 5 core activities. First one is we aim to build a so-called EuroTeQ campus, which is a kind of platform for open education, also for high quality research, and also here we aim that our graduates will have intercultural and also multilingual competencies, and also entrepreneurial mindset. Second is we aim to run or launch EuroTeQ Collider, what we call it. This is to build a community also for students and so-called all series of co-created challenge-based projects and also competitions. This also should include non-academic and lifelong learners. So, and then in these 2 first core activities, we aim to integrate mainly education research, and the other 3 are EuroTeQ Professional, EuroTeQ Connector, which is more connected outside, or also includes actors from society, and also and then the 5th is EuroTeQ Sustainability and Outreach. So in these first 2 work packages, or first 2 core activities, we really aim to mainly to integrate education and research, and we have agreed that the main kind of actors will be PhD students. So, well, PhD candidates and also PhD students, so that we would like to have them to participate basically in each project as assistants. So our main idea is to promote really doctoral education and to through PhD students to integrate research, education and research. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you very much. And now let's hear from UNICA. Damir, please. You are still muted.
Thank you. About researching and including students, as all these universities are research universities, we have already established plans and we have already established procedures to include students in research. Of course, when we look at different, let's say, organizational problems, we have established, let's say, a program to include researchers, scientists from all 8 universities in order to enable collaboration in researching phenomena connect with the super diversity, inclusion, and many other related issues in post-industrial cities. So we wish to promote as wide collaboration within our alliance as possible in order to include all faculty, studies, and fields of science in continuous exchange and mobility among us 8 universities. And this is particularly valid for our students. So we have, let's say, a huge experience in that. And we also promote, for example, at the University of Zagreb, which has about 70,000 students, we promote so-called Rector's Award, which asks students to cooperate with the professors and to produce scientific materials and research. So about 170 Rector's Awards are given for that purpose. That is not for the best students, but that is for best students included in science, you know. And about we had about 800 students awarded within different groups and with the different categories. So it works very well. And in fact, after a while, this is our source for assistant professors and to make our how to say pyramid of research. Although we lack quite good financing in Croatia, you know, that's very bad, in fact. Yeah, but with others we can manage. We can still be good with enthusiasm and so on. And I think that this project will add to that.
Thank you very much. Thank you. And now let's hear from UNIVERSEH. Eric, please.
Yes, well, in a nutshell, you know, that space is going from psychology to technology, medicine, economy, and finance, and regulations also. So it's pretty transversal. The outcome of it is the following: what we build in terms of new educational research and new scientific research, which is an objective of the third call of Europe University. We decided to develop translational courses. This means that, for example, we may have engineering students looking at law and finance, because in that case, they know what IP, for example, is. We have people from liberal arts looking at economy, and medical physiologists could look at engineering, and the law students looking at entrepreneurship and innovation, and eventually venture capitalists or business angels. The essential of this research approach in education is the following: that we want to change the way students are interacting with the professors and together. This means that we may use what we call nuggets. These are short courses of less than 30 minutes, It will give micro-credentials, which is a subject which is heavily discussed in research education management at the moment. And the question also for us is just to evaluate also, and it will be a pleonasm, evaluate immediate evaluation of courses, just to know if students are able to, cognate their knowledge almost immediately, for example, in law, and just to transfer it in their current engineering studies. So this translational courses is a must for us. And also the second must is peer-to-peer student interactions. This means that we would take a third year bachelor students and have them teach in the first year of bachelor and do the same at all cycles of education. And eventually also, this means that PhD students will teach, for example, fundamental engineering in second year bachelor. So it's something which is, again, a sort of double silo. We want translational courses so they get a complete view of what space and new space constellation is. And also we want them to have an open mind in this context.
Thank you very much. And now let's move on to another topic, which is related to the governance model. Because we know that to create a European university is a big challenge. Our universities are quite old. I know the University of Zagreb is celebrating in this period the 350th anniversary. So one question is related to how to design the new European universities, based on the experience of different universities based in different countries with sometimes also different laws. And also I'd like you to comment on the role of students in the governance model. There was a comment in the previous panel from the representative from UFE, mentioning the important role of students in the governance of European universities. And we start again the panel from ENLIGHT, and I would like to give the floor to Milan again, please.
Well, for the moment, we do not have legal person body for the alliance, but it's part of our project to have one. And so we will be looking for the right model in what form this legal personnel should be. And we plan to create it more or less at the end of the project to continue our cooperation after the first 3-year period. And concerning governance, we have similar governance as the universities from the first panel. We have governing board composed from rectors and 3 student representatives. So students are important part of the governance, and they are with the rectors part of the governing board. And then for day-to-day management, we have board of directors, and this is. And the third body, which is alliance-wide, is student board. So student board are part of the governing board, and they have also for them the student board, and will comment on all strategic decisions the network is taking. And so this is the governance on the level of the alliance, and then we have 7 work packages, and for each work package we have 2 universities from the network leading them. So this is the core team for each work package. They are meeting more or less once per week to really have the management of the different work packages in hand.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Let's proceed with UNIVERSEH. Béla, please.
Yeah, UNIVERSEH is built on a fair and equal engagement of all partner universities and their communities, giving university citizens opportunity to be part of the co-creation of the alliance. For the sake of this, the governance structure of the Alliance provides a well-balanced representation of students, researchers, and leaders of the universities, and encourages cooperation with external partners. The engagement of students is an essential part of the governance structures. Students are involved in all levels and phases of the project. the close connection and continuous communication between the steering committee and student board enable the assessment of students' needs and ensures that the students' voice are reflected in the development of the European university well-being. Semmelweis University welcomes and supports the involvement of students at such a high level, as we have very positive experience with this form of governance already. The participation of students in the management and decision making is a common practice at Semmelweis University for many, many years. The Senate, the supreme decision-making body of the Semmelweis University, includes 25% of students delegates, and the Students' Union plays a very important role in the management and development processes as well. A good example for this is the recent curriculum reform, where student opinion had an important influence in the shaping of the new curricula. But students also offer support to the university and the society in times of the pandemic. They are taking part very, very actively in the fight against COVID-19 by doing screenings in Hungary and abroad, even abroad, and provide assistance in the patient care. It is important to point out that institutional transformation is much more than a matter of administrative and governance structures. The shared vision, the well-defined mutual goals, and the preparedness of the national teams are essential in delivering meaningful and productive action plan, and to make sure that our joint activity is to the benefit of each member institution. UNIVERSEH partner universities keep this always in mind and strive to support this during their operation.
Thank you very much. Now let's hear from EuroTeQ. Tiit, please.
Yes, thank you. So first of all, I would like to mention that when we discussed about forming these governing bodies, we all members of EuroTeQ have in their mind that this project or consortium will actually go well beyond of the funding of this current period, so which is only 3 years. So. And while forming kind of preconditions of these bodies, what I will mention are that we have shared ambition, and this is anchored at the highest level, that all units and also individuals relevant for implementing and also sustaining these activities are connected across the partners and empowered to collaborate. And very important is, speaking about students, that the broader community of students and also faculty and staff also take ownerships and contribute to our shared ambition. And we also would like to engage external stakeholders and also broader public, and they should be informed and also encouraged to be part. And these we have 5 bodies: EuroTeQ Presidential Strategy Forum, which is kind of where we aim more kind of long-term strategic alignment and also development. The EuroTeQ Engineering University Management Board, which is supported by the Secretariat, the EuroTeQ Secretariat. Then University Advisory Board, which engage representatives from European and also other transnational organizations. Then local advisory boards, where we would like to engage representatives of the local ecosystems. And then finally, for each work package, also working groups are established with representatives from all partner universities and also including the spiritual administration. And coming back to students, we aim that students are involved in basically in all activities or horizontally. So we, for example, in Estonia, by law in our public universities, students take form at least 20% in university boards, and which means that when we discuss about curricula, for example, they have very strong voice, and this is also what we also aim in EuroTech, that students are involved horizontally in all activities, including in governing models of the consortium. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Tiit. And now it's a pleasure to hear from UNIC. Damir, please.
Thank you. So when we are in the initial state of discussing our governance model, but it seems that we will opt for decentralized network or confederative model, as we heard from Juliana today, of corporate governance, and as I told you already, sandwich model of academic governance and mobility. So our intention is not to change current organizational particularities of our universities, but we will open a debate about the governance model in future. So far, we have established all planned bodies at the alliance level and all the level of 8 participating universities. That means UNIC Management Board, which consists of 8 rectors, UNIC General Executive Board, which consists of 8 universities representatives, a project coordinator from Rotterdam, financial manager, evaluation and quality assurance, and sustainability and dissemination officer. After that, we have 8 university executive offices, which consist of 7 members with project leader as the president or head of such offices. Then we have, that is important, UNIC student board, consisting of 4 students from all 8 universities. And UNIC stakeholder board consisting of 3 representatives from all 8 universities, representatives of city administration, business, and civil society. We shall also establish a system connected our universities and prepare a wide menu of educational contents for students and their future employers in post-industrial cities. These contents will be harmonized to a reasonable extent among the consortium partners. Some new joint study programs will be also established, and a joint online learning platform repositories that is also including in that we will done. What is University of Zagreb concerned, which is already decentralized university with significant autonomy of each faculties. We have already established a network of consisting of 34 UNIC commissioners, 1 per faculty, mostly of them serving as faculty vice deans. Another network includes a group of almost 40 students representatives, including students from all faculties. The main information about the project can be disseminated through the network of the faculties, deans, and so on. So we promoted the project via official university newspaper and so on. So I think that we will include the students in a proper way and that they will participate, and they already responded very, favorably.
Thank you very much, Damir. Now let's hear from UNIVERSEH. Eric, please.
Yes, in the short nutshell, we have 4 boards. The first one is for the president and rectors, and they are looking at strategy on the mid and long term. We have an academic board just to secure the knowledge transfer for all the students. We have an advisory board also, which concern essentially our partners, industrials and public bodies, like space agencies. We have 5 which are on board, and a quality assessment board. For the students, we have a student board, and the originality of it is that we have all students are represented in every board. So this means that the students board knows exactly where is something going on in the other board, and we wanted to have this translational participation of the students, so that they can actively participate to the project. That's the essential of our governance. And you may have a look also already on our website, which is on since a week or so. And the second point was the legal entity potentially. We already worked on it since a couple of months already. It's because one of the key issues of the European University is the European diploma. Because for now, everything in terms of diplomation is linked to the countries. There is a full subsidiarity from Europe in this context. And we find out that there is a legal European structure we could be of interest for all of us as a university, which is the European grouping of territorial cooperation, which is effective since almost 13 years. We experienced it in another set, and it's working pretty well, and it has a legal personality. And in that case, if you consider this EGTT legal entity, you may be able, as a higher education institution and cooperation tool, to deliver diplomas. I know that European Commission is going this way also, and we have embarked with some lawyers from the different universities to look at it in details to subsidize the national constraints of European diplomas, because we all know that it's super difficult.
Perfect. Thank you very much. This is a very important topic, and we will probably organize in the near future another event, related to that. Let me also remind all of you, also the attendees, that on Friday, actually Friday morning, we will have the UNICA EduLab. That's a working group related to education. So I hope some of you will participate as well. And there we will discuss some of these issues, including something that we did not discuss until now, but if there is time, I will ask you something related to the micro-credentials, which is a topic I think also very, very hot in this moment, and that will be, debated in the panel on Friday morning. So for the moment, let's continue with this question. I am very pleased to welcome Atli Benediktsson, the Rector of the University of Iceland, who is representing in this panel Aurora. And welcome, Atli. I would like to give you the floor and ask you to react on different issues that we already debated until now. So we started on the big topic of the impact of the COVID pandemics on the alliances. And so we like to know what happened, in relationship to Aurora, in this case. And also we spoke about the challenge of integrating education and research in our projects. And then we moved on to the governance model, as you just heard, and the involvement of students also in our governance. So I would like to give you the floor to hear, the experience of Aurora on these topics. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Luciano. And I'm sorry I was a little late coming into the panel. But regarding Aurora, we are a network of 9 research-intensive universities, and the Aurora Alliance is sort of based also on the Aurora University Network, so there's a significant overlap. So we have already started working together. Obviously, the pandemic has had a significant impact, but we already had to adjust to plans on the ambitious mobility plans we had in the proposals, and we are looking forward to incorporating virtual mobility and give students other types of international experience. Obviously, this is complicated. I mean, we hope with the vaccination process going forward, we hope that things will be okay, but in the short term, this can be a problem. But we expect things to turn out well soon. So regarding the second question, Luciano, and the Aurora Alliance, as I mentioned, is based on the Aurora University Network. So it's a consortium of research-intensive universities deeply committed to the social impact of our activities and with a history of engagement with the communities in which we operate. Our overall vision is to use our academic excellence to influence societal change through our research and education. and our key priorities are to maximize the societal impact of our research, encouraging diversity and inclusion, and to use student engagement to drive innovation in teaching and learning. And there are several work packages, of course, in the proposal, and we will specifically strengthen the links between research and education in social entrepreneurship and innovation, which is one work package, and in learning student analytics, and in the SDG dashboards for education and research. And the SDGs are sort of an underlying foundation in our proposal. Social entrepreneurship and innovation as a way of thinking enables us to give our graduates the skills and mindset to address major societal challenges. Research collaboration on social entrepreneurship and innovation will feed into the further refinement of the Aurora competencies framework and will strengthen our concept of matching academic excellence with societal relevance. We see learning and student analytics as a crucial form of applied research that will help us strengthen the research and evidence base of our teaching and learning processes and environment. We will focus, as I mentioned before, on the SDGs, the 17 United Nations Sustainable Development Goals in the Alliance, and the SDG dashboard for research and education with collaboration between bibliometrics and academic experts is linking education to research and society. And the goal is to see research and education in relation to the SDGs as interlinked set of challenges. And in the Aurora network, the university network, we had already started, since it was founded in 2016, to sort of combine our forces in this way. Regarding the governance model, we have it such that the Aurora Alliance Board consists of all university presidents of the 9 institutions. The management team consists of the Aurora Alliance Central Office, which is located at Vrije University in Amsterdam. And then we, as I mentioned, have several work packages, and I will not go through that in much detail. Then we also have a Vice Rector Education Board, Vice Rector's Research Board, and the Aurora Alliance Student Board, which represents all universities, and that those boards act as an advisory board or as advisory boards. We are very committed to student participation. And we have seen in the Aurora University Network that the students have really had a significant impact on our activities in many ways. And then we have an external stakeholders board and an external quality assurance board set up for external advisory. And Luciano, I think I've sort of gone briefly through your questions.
Thank you very much for replying so quickly to all these difficult points. So actually, I have a question for you and for the other panelists related to the SDGs. Because we know, of course, that many universities, and in particular, I know about the UNICA universities, have been doing an amazing work in the last few years on SDGs. But I mean, I have the impression that the community at large, I mean, for let's say all the students and our university communities, until COVID, when considering SDGs, of course, they had very clear the SDG number 13. Related to climate change and all the challenges related to that. But maybe I have the impression that before COVID, some other SDGs were a bit less considered. And in particular, number 3, health, became so important because we realized that, in this COVID crisis, without health or with health at risk, many other activities were not possible or were, significantly impacted. So did you notice a significant change, or is Aurora, dealing with SDGs in a different way after the COVID crisis, or not? You're not here, so this is...
Is this for me? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, the impact is, I mean, significant there, and I would say we have in Aurora, we have been looking at the bibliometrics of the SDGs and so forth, and we continue to do that, and we were ahead of times higher in doing sort of impact analysis based on the SDGs. But the question you pose is, have we changed? Yes, I would say that we focus very much on health now. We have across the network several projects related to health. So I think that's the response to your question, Luciano.
Okay, thank you. Maybe other panelists would like to intervene on this topic. I mean, in a random order, please unmute yourself if you like to intervene on the, I mean, let's say the way your alliances are dealing with, you know, the Sustainable Development Goals, you know, before COVID and after COVID. I know that, you know, in our projects, we mentioned in several points the relationship between our projects and the SDGs. And I mean, the question is whether COVID changed that in some way. I don't know if some other panelists would like to comment on this.
So let me add a short comment on it. So COVID pandemic is an issue to solve, but on the other side, it gives us an absolutely new opportunity to fulfill all goals at the level of the universities. So this is the case, for example, in my university, which is a life science, a health, which has a huge healthcare system owned. So that's why we never had such an improvement in all scientific, educational, and healthcare threefold mission, such a big development than during this year. So it is very, very interesting. So we can use a lot of advantage for all universities because the priorities are changed. Health is the major priorities nowadays. So that's a short comment only.
Yeah, thank you very much. Other comments on the SDGs from the other panelists?
Yes, just a short one.
Yes.
We all know that student health is and still is an issue in general in all universities. They are not looking at themselves in terms of healthcare correctly. You can see it from both sides. One positive side for me is the following: is that we can use this COVID pandemic to support and ameliorate student follow-up in terms of health, for example. And that's what we've done within the Alliance. We, especially our Swedish colleagues and our Swedish Toulouse colleagues also, we are extremely interested in this topic. And to make a long story short, again, we have a special work package which is linked to the well-being of students in general, and which includes also the health aspect, which is linked to COVID, yes, because we need to, but it is not solely linked to COVID by essence.
Thank you very much. Other comments? Otherwise, I will move on to the next question. I don't hear from the others. So let's go now to another topic related to communication strategies. We know that you know, our universities are very often quite large, and the alliance of several universities created really huge communities of students, academics, administrative and technical staff. So I would like to have a comment from the different representatives of the different panels, different alliances, on the communication strategies that you use, and also, I mean, how you are facing or you are going to face the challenge of multilingualism in your alliance. And let's start again with the ENLIGHT, and I give the floor to Milan, please.
So the project just started, so the communication is still a work in progress. but basically we will use classical tools, like we will have a common ENLIGHT website where we will share all the information for students and also academic staff. We will use newsletters, and we will use also social media. And for our students and staff, and also for general public, we will have a live streaming of practically all conferences, all workshops, and meetings, which will be open to the public. And in combination with interactive use of social media and tools to post questions. And we will also cooperate with other 2 European universities in Slovakia. They also started now their project, and so we are discussing how we could maybe have a common communication for general public about the content of our project. And concerning multilingualism, it's not easy for us because we have 9 universities with 11 official languages spoken on these universities. But we will have information packages about the network and the activities available in all 11 languages. And multilingualism is one of the 3 transversal themes of our project. And we will establish a permanent multilingualism network. And we will also integrate our physical, blended, and virtual offer for language learning and share it between all students and staff. And we will develop learning materials for students, and also we will do research about multilingualism and how to improve language skills.
Perfect. Thank you very much. So let's hear now from UNIVERSEH. Béla, please. I think you're muted, probably.
Yeah. Semmelweis University is the leader of communication and dissemination activity of UNIVERSEH. We will work on increasing the recognition and influence of UNIVERSEH, promote its research educational offer, and contribute to the dissemination of the best practice and core messages of the Alliance via internal and external communication campaign. We have to reach and inform and involve of university community, including several 10,000 students, academic staff, and make them clear how they can put the opportunities offered by the project at the service of their professional goals and their own personal development. Due to the epidemiological situation, communication has shifted to digital channel worldwide. We had to take this into account when drawing up the communication strategy and action plan in line with UNIVERSEH's core professional objectivity. UNIVERSEH has established communication channels such as the UNIVERSEH website and social media, in addition to which we are using the existing and well-proven communication channel and tools of each institution. Preferred communication tool will be mapped in an international survey to make local campaign as effective as possible. At the moment, we are using mainly newsletter, direct mails, online forum, information materials. The emphasis on digital channels will remain on the long term, as it is a fast and efficient means of communication. Once the epidemic is over, we can expand the range of communication channel with events, meetings, and conferences requiring physical presence, enabling personal networking. This is absolutely essential. We feel it. International media communication and the close and continuous contact with the Alliance, more than 100 contracted external partners, help us to spread UNIVERSEH messages widely beyond the walls of our institution. We will promote, foster open science. All our research education results will be published in a transparent manner. Integrating communication training and strengthening scientific communication is also part of our plan. This will not only contribute to personal development, but also further increase the visibility and accessibility of our results. Regarding multilingualism, UNIVERSEH includes universities are situated in a wide variety of environments with cater to students from different socioeconomic and cultural background, and thus multilingualism is of paramount importance to all of the universities in the consortium. The Semmelweis University's commitment to multilingualism is in line with UNIVERSEH's aim to have its students speak at least 2 other languages in addition to their mother tongues, and its goal to support and encourage all forms of mobility between the participating university and beyond. In frame of this, and among others, doubling the number of students participating in Erasmus Plus is one of UNIVERSEH's important goals. Semmelweis University offers education in 3 languages, Hungarian, English, and German. More than a quarter of our approximately 11,000 students are international. We are proud of our large, vibrant international community and find it especially important that students speaking different languages and coming from different cultures from cheerful, cohesive community where they support each other and understand each other. That's, thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Now it's the turn of EuroTeQ. Tiit, please.
Yes, thank you. Well, regarding communication strategy, since the project has started, so this strategy is still in work in progress at the moment. But however, the concept how to achieve, we see that we will put an emphasis on internal communication with our partner universities by using more traditional means like web pages. We will also use a lot of social media, and we also will make we will make use of also newly developed communication channels, and this is important to spread and the word about these opportunities of EuroTeQ consortium. Students, faculty, and staff are already involved. Who are already involved, they will be encouraged to share the information and their experiences and to act as ambassadors to motivate them for participation. Then when it comes to non-academic personnel, we will work directly with our partners, associated partners and stakeholders to establish also channels communication to reach other relevant target groups. So for example, we we will develop together with vocational schools information materials, so both printed and also online, to advertise the opportunities of EuroTech campus. And the main indicators for of communication are communication strategy for internal and external communication, and regular news items on EuroTech in internal communication of partner universities, and also regular distribution of information materials distributed to target groups among other societal stakeholders. So regarding multilingualism, this is of course, on one hand, we have to acknowledge or admit that purely academic context, this multilingualism has lost its impact, as English is the international language in science or research. But on the other hand, these teaching formats which we aim to establish in our work packages, mainly in work package called EuroTech Collider, they require cooperation with other societal actors outside of the universities, and they are often not accustomed to international context. So this, in that regard, opening up teaching formats of EuroTeQ to societal stakeholders, this represents the most effective way of opening up the university to characteristics of our society, such as language. And what we promote are different language skills in order to ensure multilingualism within the student body as part of EuroTeQ campus, and also working with non-academic people and professionals. This brings a clear need for sufficient knowledge of respective national language. And in this respect, EuroTeQ campus promotes, and we aim to kind of demand language acquisition of the local language, at least at A2 level. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And now let's hear from UNIC. Damir, please.
Thank you. When concerning communication strategies, we are a little bit reluctant in regard to external communication via media. Our common policy is to promote the results once they are achieved. However, basic information about the project are also disseminated to a reasonable extent, of course. We have established our central internet site. All 8 universities are also have also added the link to this central site and have their own pages dedicated to the UNIC project. We are also very active in internal communication and promotion of the new project within our 8 universities, trying to reach first and foremost students and professors in this stage of the project, as this is critical for mobilize them for the mobility. We assess international cooperation and mobility as one of the crucial outputs of the project. And of course, when speaking on multilingualism, English language is of course lingua franca in today's Europe, and it is unavoidable to use it as a common language. However, we will stimulate our students, professors, researchers, and other staff to use all our languages, at least when they have a specific language competence, particularly if they are fluent in French, Spanish, and German. Furthermore, we will organize learning of our languages from Finnish and Turkish to Croatian and Irish. For example, University of Zagreb, for already 50 years, organizes very good courses of Croatian language for all those students coming from abroad. Not only Croatian diaspora, because they lost their language skills, but also for all other students coming to our international programs in English. So it is very successful, and we do that already. So it is already able for us at the University of Zagreb, which is very huge, to give this opportunity for Croatian language. And this is also very good because in the region, you know, we have Serbian, we have Bosnian and Montenegrin, and of course Slovenian, which is very similar, although not so similar too much, but it's understandable. So when learning this language, Croatian language, they can communicate in all the region, and that is very good for us. Okay.
Thank you very much. Let's hear now from UNIVERSEH. Eric, please.
Yes, thank you. Well, to make it short, for everything which is related for communication is almost centralized in Luxembourg. And we have a work package which is only used for that, with all the heads of communication from the different universities. We decided to go digital, to go for digital communication almost immediately. We opened our website a bit more than 10 days ago. All the such social networks are up. And we already have a YouTube channel which is running for the next kickoff meeting, which will be for the quick kickoff meeting, which will be mid-December. So we choose this way because it's the most efficient way for now due to the pandemic stuff. And so we believe that it's a very reasonable solution. The second point concerning the strategic plan for communication is being set. We plan to get this strategic plan out for spring. Because of the changes of communication due to the COVID crisis, and this we'll have to shift our first objectives. The second point is that we are using specialized press within our domain of space. Space is something which is very oneric for many, but if you look in details, if you want to transfer the interest of space within the society, we have specialized media who can do it for us. For example, there is Space Watch Global, which is super efficient, that we met yesterday. And they are able to write down articles which are extremely interesting for interested people within the common society. So we will amplify our communication using intermediate solutions so that we are able to gain interest from the society as a whole. The question of languages is quite interesting. You may not know that in Luxembourg we teach in 3 languages: English, French, and German. It's the same in Sweden, where they teach in German, in English, and German, English, and Swedish also. Toulouse is teaching in French and Spanish, and Poland and Germany are teaching in their home language and also in English. So the point for us is the following: we have a very simple objective for our students. They must be able to work in 2 languages professionally, whichever it is, because this means that in that case they can integrate directly within their home institution, home company where they're supposed to work. Still, just to get out of this Euro-English story, which is something which is pan-European, we offer also courses in local languages. This means Polish, Swedish, and French. I know that we have a lot of students who want to go to Sweden, for example. And even if the Swedes generally speaks English, even in town, it's not possibly the case in Poland. So we decided to make efforts in this context to open up the language acquisition for all our students and get a multilingual approach which is reasonable for this project. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And now we conclude with Aurora. Atli, please.
Thank you. Communication is extremely important, and we saw it in the build-up in preparing the proposal, that it is important that people know what it is about. And we're talking about a project that is for 3 years, but we plan to continue this for many, many years. So it's important to get the entire university community, university leadership, student staff, and external stakeholders on board. And the Alliance, the Aurora Alliance, is working on a common communications plan. We have our web page, but it's clear that we have to put a strong push at all universities. At the University of Iceland, I have introduced the Aurora Alliance in open meetings on the web. And furthermore, but we also have an ambitious plan to communicate the Alliance to all schools and all faculties of the university, and that each faculty shall nominate an Aurora Alliance contact person. The involvement of students, again, is of uttermost importance. There is student involvement in all work packages we have. At the University of Iceland, we have a paid student Aurora Alliance position. And this student sits on the steering committee on the Aurora Alliance Student Board, and also actively reaches out to students at our university and points out opportunities and encourages them to get involved. And we worked really hard in the build-up during the proposal to get the students involved, and we have had some success there. Regarding the multilingualism, one of the tasks of the Aurora Alliance learning work packages addresses multilingualism, and that's a work package part on plurilingual competence. A core component of our Aurora education area will be an integrated approach to language learning. We have, as other universities, European universities here, many languages within our alliance, But here we will develop tools and processes to introduce multilingual competence in all Aurora universities, catering to language proficiency in preferable 3 languages, I would say. The target is set to at least 50% of all students will acquire B2 level competence in first foreign language, and further that 30% of all students acquire B1 in the second foreign language. And to address the multilinguistic proficiency, first, we open existing language learning opportunities, that is courses, labs, platforms, games across the Aurora Alliance. And secondly, we set up Aurora language learning buddy programs. And we can say also set up online Aurora students learn Aurora Alliance language learning platforms. It's a complicated task, but this is something we are working on. Thank you.
Perfect. So thank you very much, Atli. Unfortunately, the time is up, but I would like to ask the panel really to give a very, very short final message, maybe 10 or 20 seconds if you can manage, just to conclude the panel. And so let's start again with Milan. Please, if you want to leave a final comment for this session, you're very welcome. Milan, probably you're muted.
Yeah, sorry for that. Thank you very much for the meeting and for sharing the experience. And we are looking to making a reality from our European Universities Alliance. So thank you and bye.
Thank you very much. And Béla, Merkely?
Very shortly. So we are on a good way. And the final goal is just to maintain our sustainability. Give us a longer opportunity for all of the European university, just to have a win-win situation. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you. And Tiit?
Yes, thank you. So I just would like to conclude that we see this as a huge opportunity for collaboration, and despite having only 3 years funding period, which is very, very short, we really aim for longer collaboration, and we would like to re-engineer or have a long-term development strategy, despite having in mind just this very short period of time. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And Damir?
Thank you all for participating. It was very interesting and revealing for me. And with what concerns our alliance, we will, and sustainability, we will organize another forms of cooperation, seeking additional financial report, including cities and so on. But I think that this communication within UNICA, universities in capitals, and University of Zagreb is the only university member of the UNICA of our alliance, will be very, very useful. And I think that we can, in the time, organize more similar, let's say, discussions and to have some experiences to hear. And of course, this will also maybe give opportunity to extend all our communication and support and the cooperation in our alliances. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And Eric?
Yes, my last word. I think that sustainability is key. We all worked a lot since almost more than a year now to have this European university set. I guess that a 15 or 20-year target scheme is something which is extremely important. We had this SWOF application call which went out at the end of September. Some of us already postulated to it. It will bring research also within university if it's successful. So for me, definitely a 15-year target view is something which is extremely important for now, for all of us. And thank you, Joel. I took many notes.
Thank you very much. And Atli?
Yeah, thank you very much. It's a great pleasure to participate here. Our alliance is based again on the Aurora University Network, and we think that will help us in going forward. The target is to have a long-term relationship and establish an Aurora European University. And it's a challenge, but we are working hard at getting there. Thank you.
So really the time is up. I have to close, unfortunately, this panel. And as Damir Boras said, indeed, we will organize very soon other events like this. Today we invited 17 different alliances to share, ideas, to share their experiences. Again, we will continue because we really believe that UNICA can play a good role in this case, again, to share good practices. This is in the DNA of UNICA, which is celebrating this year the 30th anniversary. And despite the difficulties, it was said by many panelists that I think that universities are reacting well. We hope that the vaccines will come, very soon. That we will go back, to a new situation in which probably we'll resume more physical activities. But as it was said several times, I think some digital and virtual activities, I think, still will be useful. And overall, I think we will get out of this crisis stronger than before. So overall, I'm optimistic. So I would like to thank very much the panelists for their excellent contributions. I would like to thank the attendees again for participating. It was a long morning. Many people stayed until the end. I really am very grateful to them. I would like to thank the UNICA office, especially Victoria Xonka and Laura Colò, for working so hard for this event, which was very close to the UNICA General Assembly. So it was really a very busy period for us, but we thought it was important to keep a discussion on the European universities in this moment before Christmas and not after that. And again, I would like to invite you to participate in the EduLab meeting of UNICA on Friday morning if you can, or just disseminate the information at your universities. I'm sure there will be some other representatives interested. So again, I wish you a very good day, and I hope to see you soon on one of the other, UNICA events. Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye, Luciano. Bye to all.
Bye, Damir. Thank you.
Bye.